Hello, ISNR conference attendees. I'm making this short tutorial video to help you understand how to access the conference, how to modify your registration, and also just a quick review of where to take your surveys, view the documents that presenters upload, and check out the rest of our attendee website. So stick with me as I share my screen. All right, so as you can see, I've navigated to isnrconference.org. This is going to be the main website where all of the conference information is located, as well as how you're going to access the conference. So the first thing that you're going to do is navigate over to virtual conference access. Now, if you have any questions about CEs or the schedule, there's lots of other information, but when it comes time to accessing the conference, this is going to be your primary page. On the top of every page, but also as you scroll down, you'll notice a register here button, which has a modify registration. This is going to be helpful if there are any workshops you need to add. You can do that at any time. If you have a dinner guest you'd like to add, or if you want to add CEs or sponsor a session, we opened up some sponsorship opportunities that start as low as $49 this year for attendees. So lots of different things on that optional page that you can add to your registration at any time. I want to add a caveat that anybody who registers by August 4th or later is not guaranteed a dinner ticket, and we will not be taking dinner guests at that point. If cancellations occur on site, we're going to have a list of people that are essentially on standby for a dinner ticket. So as cancellations become available, then you can purchase that dinner ticket on site. But if you plan to attend the Saturday night dinner where we recognize our board of directors and our Lifetime Achievement Award, please plan on registering for that prior to August 4th. Now, with all of that said, you're going to scroll down here. If you need to modify that registration, you'll see when you click that button, it's a quick little pop-up. You're going to enter your email, your confirmation, and then click login. If you click this, but you don't actually want to modify, it's a little bit of a glitch this year, but the X where you get out of this spot is right over here. It's just invisible. So sorry about that. We could not fix that. As you continue to scroll down, your attendee website is going to be your primary place to access all the conference content. This is going to be where you're going to access the Zooms, surveys, see the vendors, check out the full schedule, all of that. So you're going to want to be familiar with the attendee website. The other thing that you're going to want to be familiar with is the conference mobile app. For those people that are going to be on site with us, you are going to use the conference app to stay up to date. You're going to get notifications through that app, but also you're going to use that to check in for the sessions for CE credits. So make sure you have the app downloaded and you check out the attendee website well before the conference so that you can be familiar with both platforms. If we go to the attendee website here, it's going to ask you to populate your name and the email address that you registered with. Make sure that that is correct, okay? And then when you click next, it's going to give you a verification code that is going to go to your cell phone. So make sure you enter your mobile phone number there, as well as your email. Bear with me as I enter that. And then you're going to click login. That's an automated email. I can't really control that. So if you're having trouble with that, I would make sure that your email and your mobile number are correct. Once you log in here, you're going to see at the top navigation buttons. And then as you scroll down, you'll see lots of different things. First of all, our gear store. If you want to support ISNR and rock some of our gear for the conference specifically, or just our general ISNR logo, check out the shop here. When you go to schedule, you're going to see the list of all of the different sessions. You can filter this if you know the actual, like the person who's presenting. You can search by their name. You can search by the date. And actually, I'm going to go to all sessions. That's a better place to actually add the filters. So here you can search by date, time, and then speakers down here, category, any of this information, where it's at. So if you want to make sure that you're checking out everything that's in the main ballroom, auditorium 1, you can look at that. So as we go through here, you'll notice that most things right now are locked down. Now you'll see that everything is kind of locked down. You can purchase some sessions. That's going to take you back to the registration. Things that are included will say included, featured. Everything should be pretty logical here in terms of what to click on. It says join session, but of course the button is grayed out right now. That is going to become active about 5 minutes before the session starts. That is going to be where you're going to access the Zoom. After the session has been completed, that button will turn into a watch the recording. Now, I will say that the morning sessions are going to take a little bit of time to process. So you won't be able to watch those recordings for the morning sessions probably until the next day or after. If you want to add workshops, I obviously have the workshop package. The unlimited workshop package includes 14 3-hour workshops, which is a fantastic opportunity to earn CE credits and also have a lot of content accessible for 60 days after the conference. If I didn't have that, it would say purchase here, and you could go and modify your registration and add that as you need. As you can see, if you navigate to the all sessions, you'll see this demo session that I've created just for this video right now. If I were to click join session here, it would open up a Zoom in a different tab. I would click open zoom.us. That is going to be the best way to access this. When you do that, it's going to open up a Zoom window just like every other Zoom that you have had working over the last few years. Now, what I would encourage you is to pay attention to your video and to your microphone, because we do it as a collaborative Zoom so that our attendees have an opportunity to ask questions. Please be mindful of where your camera is pointed, that it is on, and that your microphone is muted, because if you have your microphone unmuted, you might be heard by the entire auditorium on our speakers. We do our best, of course, on the AV side to make sure that we mute everybody upon entering the Zoom, but it can happen, so just be cautious about that. When you are in this view, you'll see the speaker. You'll also be able to click on the speaker and learn more about them. So you can see what sessions they're part of. And then if you have any other information there, I don't have a ton on my profile here, but you could fill that out more. With our demo session here, you'll notice it says, let your voice be heard. You can take a survey over here. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. Resources for this particular session, I just added a Word document of the printable program at this point. So you could go ahead and download that onto your computer. And if you click on it, it's going to show you what it will look like on a different web page. It won't automatically download if you just click on it. So make sure you click the little down button here if you're downloading it. This resource button is where you're going to access the slides or any handouts that your presenters have uploaded so that you have access to those. I want to just encourage you to ask the presenters, particularly for workshops, if they have anything that they need to give you handout-wise or slide-wise. But if they did not upload it here, it's possible that they didn't want attendees to have access to their slides or the documents. So it might not be a mistake that the slides aren't there. And then finally, the survey. If you watched my other video about the CEs, you've already seen this, but this is how you'll take the survey. If I click on this, I can take it right here in this session, and you can do your name. And I just made this very quick, so it was a faster example. Anything with the little red asterisk is going to be required. You say done. Perfect. Okay. And now you can collapse that. Good to go there. At the top, you can go back to your home. When things are being highlighted, they'll pop up here, featured sessions, and as well as our social links, featured vendors for the system. They're all called exhibitors, but we obviously have sponsors and exhibitors. Speaking of our sponsors and exhibitors, you can go over here to the Expo tab and you can see who our sponsors are, our platinum sponsor, gold sponsors, silver sponsors. And when you click into one of these tiles, it's going to give you more information about that particular vendor or sponsor. And anything that they have downloaded or uploaded so that you have access to it, you can download here. So you'll see exhibitor content and any handouts that that exhibitor or that vendor wants you to have. You'll also have their links and their emails here. Obviously, there's a contact button. And then if you go over to floor plans, you'll also notice that there's a vendor hall map. So if you're curious about what our vendor hall is going to look like or where those particular exhibitors or sponsors are, you'll see on this map, you can click things right here. So if I click on that, you can actually view their virtual booth over here. And that's going to be the information we just reviewed, like this. And then sometimes they have links for you. What I would encourage you to do is to check out all of our vendors. Also on the floor plans, if we go back to this, you'll see the 2026 conference sessions. So this is going to be a bird's eye view of the entire conference setup. As the sessions get entered and are associated with a particular room, you will see when you load that particular room. So auditorium 1 is going to be our main auditorium. And you'll see over here all the different sessions that are going to be in that. So this can be a really great way to navigate. And you can do this in the app as well. See the other video that I am making about the conference app for that. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but all accessible in the app as well. That's going to help you on site to navigate all of the different places in the conference. The main hotel is going to be over here. So when you walk in, you're going to walk down this hall. This is our vendor hall right here. So if we click here, you'll see vendor hall, and then our main auditorium. And then we're going to have our workshops and other ballrooms or other auditoriums over here. So stay tuned for all of that. Lastly, attendees. This is a great way to connect with people at the conference. If they have made their information visible, then you'll be able to see them here, and you can add them as a contact. So for example, I might want to say, oh, I don't want to show this again, but I will confirm. Now I've sent Elena a request to connect on the app, and that's going to be a fun way for us to stay connected overall. Up next, you'll see over here are things that are coming up. Obviously, everything's kind of far away right now. Any messages will be here. And of course, if you want to change anything about your profile, that's going to be over here. You can view your profile, change your settings, connections, see events, and of course, any reported incidents there. Guys, this website that I'm showing you right now is called the Attendee website. And just to refresh your memory, that's going to be accessible at isnrconference.org right here at Attendee website. This is going to be where you are going to access all the content, the Zooms. During the session, there will be a CE check-in code that will be given out by the presenter. That check-in code is going to be what you will use to get your CE certificates. The APA process is actually, I did this on another video, but that's pretty straightforward. You're going to get an email. You're going to go to a web page that looks a lot like this, and it's going to list all the different surveys. And if I refresh this, you'll see that I've actually completed this now. So it has a check mark next to anything that you've completed. If you still need to complete a survey, it'll show that at the top. You can always go back in to a survey once you've completed it and change your answers. If you think about something and you want to do it again, just make sure you click done. And then when you are finished, you will get an email that looks a lot like this. And this email will prompt you. It'll take you back to that page I just had you, where it shows you all the surveys. And then once you're finished, you're going to go ahead and do download certificate. Now, this is only relevant for APA CEs. If you didn't register for CEs or you only did the ISNR CEs, then you won't do that process, but you can watch my other video for how to access that, those surveys and get that certificate. So once I download that, it's going to go wherever it goes on your computer. You're going to open it up and it should give me a CE certificate that looks a lot like this. And then because nothing is for credit right now, you will see my name and then a table that has the session name and how many credits it was worth, and then how many credits you got for the conference in total. All right, guys, I think that that covers everything that I need to cover in terms of accessing the content. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to chair@isnr.org. Certainly make sure you look at the website, isnrconference.org, and we have a YouTube channel that has all of these videos that you can check back on if you forget some of these steps. Please have a great time at the conference, and I look forward to connecting with you next month.